All right, so I have 30 days to get 3 payouts and I've never gotten a payout ever. This is going to be a little difficult. At the beginning of this year, I told myself that if there was one goal that I wanted to achieve, it would simply be get 1 payout from a prop from this year. And currently it is December 15th and I have failed to do that. And it's not like I haven't tried. I've been live trading every single day this year that wasn't a holiday or a bank holiday. But at the beginning of this year, I was spent time figuring out what my strategy was going to be. And towards the end of the year is when I finally got things to click. However, I realized that market regimes are going to play a big factor into this goal of mine. And currently the market regimes are not what I needed to be to hit this goal. However, I'm not using that as an excuse, because if by January 17th, I don't get to 1 to 3 payouts at least from trading, I will completely pivot my energy from trading into other ventures. And if this sounds like I'm quitting, it's because I am. You see, I've been trading and documenting my trading journey for the last 2 years, and it's been rough. I've yet to see any sort of income from this to make me think, this is worth a career style. And while that's the story of most traders on YouTube, I simply have noticed when I spent my time in other ventures, such as building websites for businesses or creating software applications, I've seen more results from that than from trading alone. But I'm not here to bore you with my story. I'm here to entertain you with my plan. So let's get this started by mentioning the elephant in the room that we need to address before we get into the plan for the next 30 days. The underlying truth is that I need to spend a lot more time in funded accounts than in evals. And currently I have 1 funded account with Apex that's currently around $1,000 in profit. This funded account is going to be my only shot of getting a payout, because it's on average, it's going to take me a week just to pass a prop firm eval, and then another week just to get close to a payout. And given that we're probably in the worst time of the year, I, really speaking, only have 2 good trading weeks left until January 17th. This week and maybe the last week of the challenge. But I'm not gonna let that stop me. So let's get into the game plan for it. First things first, like I said, it's to get this account to request a payout. Now, currently we're sitting at $1,000 in profit on this funded account. I have to be able to trade in conditions that are pretty close to what I'm used to. And so far, market in this last week looks like it's going to have enough momentum in my breakout trades to allow me to hit my 30-point daily take profits. Now, daily take profits means what I'm aiming for on every single day is a 30-point take profit and a 30-point stop loss. Of course, I'm a scalper, so I aim for 20 and 10 points, but this allows me to know when to stop. The next thing is that I need to trade in conditions that really help serve me. So this week and the last week, I need the good conditions, and hopefully something happens in the markets where I get them. Now, this is pretty much a Hail Mary, but what I need is volatile conditions that boost implied volatility on the VIX to 20. If I can get this, then I will be in the conditions that I need in order to capitalize. From statistical data, these have been the market conditions where I perform best in, and my experience shows I passed this funded eval in these conditions. My goal is to get the funded account to 3K with these next 2 weeks using 10 micro contracts, which means that each trade will be a net risk of $400 for me. However, not always, because I always drag my stop loss 15 points in profit. Now, what happens if I lose this funded account this week? Well, then I'm going to need to double up on the week of the 4th and the week of the 12th when it comes to eval account. I'm going to need to purchase evals when I'm trading them in evals, trading them with 2 to 3 mini contracts. And when I finally get them to the funded, trade them with 2 mini contracts. So I'll be levering up on risk, but that's because I have a deadline that I'm set out to achieve. Now, I know the first comment on this video is probably gonna be like, why are you giving yourself such a deadline? And honestly, it's because I'm halfway tapped out. I realized that trading wasn't what I'm passionate about. What I'm really passionate about is just progressing. And I realized that I can do that and put that towards any field. And I've just noticed when I focus my energy elsewhere, it tends to be more fruitful than when I focus it on trading. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a deadline. This This deadline doesn't mean I'll stop trading forever. Of course, I'll still trade, but I'll most likely cut back on my hours in trading entirely and treat this more as a hobby rather than a full-time career. Which honestly, looking back on it now, it's probably something that I should have changed my mindset where this may not be a full-time thing. But, you know, I'm a little late to the party, so it's okay. Before I end off this video, I want to talk a little bit about the impending feeling of failure I may feel on January 17th. I think if anything, it may hurt my pride more than anything else. At the end of the day, this was something that I wanted to figure out, and I can still do that, but more as on a hobby level, not as a full-time serious career level. But at the end of the day, failure is just, you know, psychological lines that we draw in the sand, and they don't really exist because you can move these lines anywhere you want. I could say, hey, listen, I didn't fail. I live traded for the last 2 years and I gave this my all, and it just didn't work out for me. And that's okay. I can count that as a success for even trying. I'm just saying this to show you that failure is really psychological more than anything. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned because these next 30 days are going to be interesting, as I'm going to keep you guys updated every single week until January 17th. See you guys next time, until the last time.